Hey everybody, this is Mike Caribbean, another episode that I prepared for all my followers. And thank you everybody for following me all this time. If you're joining my podcast first time, don't forget to subscribe my channel and follow me everywhere on social media at Mike. Well, today I'm not alone. I'm very excited to introduce the guest that I have for today's show. But before I do that, I want to go ahead and kind of go over his background. I know this individual, wow, it's so funny. Years go so fast. From 2003, so it's been almost 22 years somewhere there, which I can't believe how fast time goes. And we have a lot of similar backgrounds. This individual's in real estate. I'm in real estate, and not only that, I find out recently that he went the same high school that I did, which is John Marshall High School, and we'll talk about that in a future in an episode. But I'm very honored to introduce him because he's going to bring a lot of wisdom and value when it comes to real estate, specifically when it comes to real estate law. So I'm honored to introduce good friend and very good businessman, Karapetyan. Karo, how are you today?
Good, Mice, and thank you for having me. I'm honored to be here.
Same here. I'm very honored to be here, and I want to thank you that you're being busy in real estate law as a lawyer. You took your time, dressed up sharp to be in this podcast. So I'm happy to have you.
Thank
how you
you
been?
Mice. Good. I've been doing really well. Thank you. Like you said, busy, but I like it. I enjoy it.
That's awesome. How's life with Karo? What are you up to besides business, family? What do you do? I know your schedule is hectic, so.
Well, I have two daughters.
Nice.
One of them actually just started law school.
So following your steps, huh?
Yes, my older one. Okay. So first year of law school.
Still real estate law?
Well, no, she wants to do more of personal injury, like TBI, major sort of injury cases. That's what she likes. That's what she wants.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Karo, maybe today we can talk a little bit more English and Armenian because մենք երկուսով հայ ենք, so փորձենք մի քիչ language-ը mix անենք, համ էլ մարդիկ համ անգլերեն կսովորեն։ Նրանք էլ ով որ հայերենից թույլ են հայերեն կսովորեն։ That should be good. So մի քիչ քո background-ից փորձի ներկայացնել, երբ սկսեցի real estate-ը եւ ինչի գնացիր ավելի շատ լայի մեջ, մի փոքր քո background-ը։
Okay, նախ սկսեմ ասենք երբ եմ եկել ստեղ Ամերիկա 93 թվին, 10 it's almost 16 years
16 years old. Got it.
John Marshall High School միանգամից գնացի.
Good
Our
memories.
favorite high school. I loved it.
3939 Tracy Street. I still remember the address.
Quick funny story. I went to get hired John's Supermarket on Santa Monica. One of the owners, John, his name was John. He said he interviewed me. He said, "Where are you going to school?" I was still in school. I said, "John Marshall." He said, "Okay, if you tell me the address, you're hired." That's it. I said 3939 Tracy Street. I got hired. That's it. That was my interview. I mean, I was applying for a beggar, so it was not like a big deal. So
pretty much when you came to America, you started from the pretty much simple stuff and you work your way up.
Yeah, well, my first job, like I said, was a bagger in John's supermarket. Yeah. And then after that, I worked at Universal Studios as a security guard for about a year after high school. And I always wanted to join the military since I was a kid.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
I always loved the uniforms. I loved the way they carried themselves. So a year after law school, I joined the Navy.
Wow, that's awesome. How long did you stay there?
4 years. I was in for 4 years. I had a wonderful time. I loved it, every minute of it.
So all the respects, man.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Now, I guess after that, you went to real estate. Is that what happened?
Yeah, after that, it took me a couple of years. I started running a gas station, a Subway, jumped straight into business.
Yeah, nice.
And then 2 years later, I realized, okay, the real estate is
the way to go.
Yeah, to have real estate also, not just as a real estate agent, but also, as investments, time to buy. I was still young at the time, and I had the VA benefits. I still do. So I started buying then, and then I also got my license. I actually got my license in 2006, but I got into real estate in 2003.
Got it.
And that was around the time we met, right?
We met through a mutual cousin, Arthur.
Not mutual cousin, but mutual friend.
Mutual
he's
friend.
Not my cousin.
Okay. Well, that's right. But I want to take the opportunity and say, Arthur, thank you for introducing us with Karo. And Arthur is one of my favorite cousins. So Arthur, Gürcan, hello to you.
And let's not forget Hovo.
Yeah,
Hovo
his brother
too.
Hovik. Yeah.
Love both of them. They're amazing. Hovo, Jan, yes.
Yeah,
thank
cool. Gürcan's family. Karo, so I know I don't have as much as experience in real estate as you do because you've been doing it longer and you started earlier. And you went from real estate, being a realtor, investor, and then eventually you went to the law. So my question is, մենք որպես հայ, չէ, հայերը շատ են սիրում invest անեն entrepreneur mind ունեն.
Yes.
And a lot of times we see they invest money in real estate.
Yes.
Now, as a real estate law, what's the mistakes they do? Because starting investing, it's great, but there's an end, which is you got to protect what you do.
Yeah.
So what do you come in the picture?
Yeah. So you're right, Mice. As an community, we love buying, we love investing. We do a lot of work, and not just real estate, but people invest in many different things.
Yeah.
That could be treasuries, the stock market. It could, but mostly real estate. The biggest mistake I see that people make is they buy real estate, especially investment real estate, in their name as an individual.
Which is a big no-no.
It is a big no-no, yes. If you buy real estate as an investment, you should not. Or if you are buying it in your name for finance purposes, sometimes that's
maybe primary resident. It's okay.
Primary
I guess
residence is different.
Okay.
Because you have California provides homestead protections for that
as
your primary residence, and I do not recommend putting that into an LLC because you will lose your homestead protection.
Got it.
But you already have a protection on that. So I'm talking mainly about investments. If you're buying it for investment purposes, to rent it or to develop it, things like that, that should never be in your name. That you are a walking target. You are exposed fully.
That's my next question. Why not?
Sorry.
So why not, Karo?
Okay, well, let me tell you.
Give me the details, because a lot of people hear about it, but they don't know how scary it is to stay that way.
Until it happens to people, and then they realize. And then most of the time it's too late. But also, Mike, since we're going to be on the public airways, things like that, as an attorney, I have to just give a disclaimer too that
for sure, go ahead.
What I say today here is not legal advice. It's just for educational purposes
only. Okay.
Because everybody's story is different. Everybody's situation is different.
Yes.
So I don't want people to think I'm giving legal advice directly to them. They can take this as a general education about how to generally protect your assets, or things you can do and why. But it's not legal advice. So
got it.
That said,
so why they should really pay attention to that protection side?
Let me tell you. Now, sometimes it's better to tell things with a story. And then people, because people can empathize and relate, and then it hits them, inside. They'll see it.
Got it.
So let me tell you, as right after law school, I started working with a very good friend of mine, and his name is Manny Starr.
You still in keep in touch?
I love this guy. Of course, we stay in touch. We still work together. He's an amazing guy. I love him. So we started working together at his law firm, Frontier Law Center, and we were doing employment law. So for 5 years, I was doing that with Manny, almost full time. That's what I was doing.
Yeah.
And one of the first things as I would do when someone came to me and said they want to sue someone for whatever reason, I want to sue the owner of the company that I work at because of whatever the reason is, right? One of the first things I did is I got that person's name that we want to sue, and I did a search, title search. I wanted to see if they have any properties in their name.
Wow.
And every single time I see
you find something.
Well, no, it's not. I don't find it every time. But every time that I found it, guess what happens? Are we suing that person? Are we taking that case?
Wow.
We're taking that case.
Wow.
Because
that's
this
like
person,
a big green light. Let's move forward.
Let's move forward. This person has nowhere to run. They can run all they want, but they cannot hide. We got them.
Yeah.
And obviously, I want to make sure it's a legitimate claim. If I felt like the person is lying to me, I did a lot of sexual harassment cases.
Yeah.
People would come, and mostly women. That's just the nature, the way it was. And they'd tell me, "Oh, my boss harassed me," or whatever, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I had a very big rule, is that if I ever felt that they're not telling me the truth, I don't care. I don't care if the business owner has 100 properties, 1 properties or no. I would never take it. I only took cases that I believed in.
Got it. Okay. Now, I want to take the opportunity, guys, and really make sure that you guys take Karo Karapetyan's information you see in a screen and connect with him and just say you saw this through MMK podcast, mention that to get specials. And also get hold of him. Whether you have 1 property, 5 or 10 or more, it doesn't matter. Karo can sit down and go over your finances, go over your real estate portfolio, and make sure the structure you have it's correct. It has a system, and he'll make sure that if there's something wrong, he'll correct it and put you in the right direction. Now, Karo, my next question is, what type of layers are there? Because people always talk about, put your investments into trust, LLC. What are the types and what are the layers?
Yes, but can I take a quick step back and go to my story real quick? And I want to just finish the story that I was saying. Specific one true example of what happened.
Yeah.
I had this lady come in, and she said, "Look, I worked as a security guard at this company. The owner for about 2 years paid me some, but didn't pay me all my pay. Over time, he just kept telling me, I'll pay you, next month and next month. And then there was about $40,000 of back pay. And he recently just closed the company. He fired everybody, and he never paid me." I said, we had taken the case already when it came to me. So our office was trying to get a hold of this person and say, "Hey, you owe $40,000 to our client. You never paid them. This was a legitimate claims." And he wouldn't return calls, would ignore us. Yes. At one time, we spoke with him, and he's like, "You know what? The company went bankrupt or broke. There's nothing in there."
Yeah.
So, and then I was like, okay, let me just check and see if this individual owns anything.
Yeah.
So comes about that he bought a property, bought a house 4 months ago, just when he closed the business, bought something in Silmar for $800,000 and put $400,000 down. As a real estate broker, I have access to all that, right?
Wow.
So I saw this. All I had to do is call the guy. I said, "I just found out that you bought this house in your name, and you have $400,000 equity." I gave him 2 days
to respond.
And if this is not paid, we're coming after him. And then I hung up. And then guess who was ignoring the calls after that? I was ignoring his calls. He called me like 20 times. I wasn't answering.
Wow.
He left me a message begging to settle the case.
That's why you need to use your services to protect your assets.
So needless to say, if he was smart, I don't like to encourage people not to pay their employees and then hide their assets. That's not what I want to do. But the reason why I'm telling you this story is because someone could have been trying to sue him for bad reasons, for frivolous reasons, or he could have had simply just an accident and injured someone innocently. Regardless of the reason, if you have a property in your name, it's easy. Anyone can find it. A quick search, people will see what you own, and then you have nowhere to go. Now, had the guy did not had he not bought it in his name or bought it in his name, but then transferred it somehow, and I didn't see
wouldn't see
anything,
that.
I would not have taken that case.
So you
wouldn't
would
take
have
the
dropped
case.
that case if you didn't find anything.
Yeah, because look, I don't want to go after someone, spend a lot of money or resources, time, and then at the end, even if I get a judgment,
Yeah.
there is no way to collect because he has nothing for me to attach the judgment.
Got it.
But if there is a property, I can always go after that. I can put an obstruct of judgment, and the person cannot refi, cannot sell it, cannot do anything without paying
You just
us.
lock the property.
Lock
pretty
it
much.
up. And guess here's what some people might say. Might say like, well, you know what? It's okay. I'll hold it to my name, and then when I realize someone is
Then
trying
I'll
to
start.
sue, and then I'll transfer it or something.
Too
It's
late?
too late because the law sees that as fraudulent conveyance.
You took action after it. the effect.
After you knew of a liability. That's why it's so important and so crucial
Yeah.
for people to take actions to protect their assets legally before anything happens.
Got it.
Because if something happens, so someone does asset protection,
Yeah.
and then the next day, the very next day, God forbid, they have an accident and they severely injure someone,
Yeah.
right? They're suing them for $10 million, $20 million, which today is nothing. If you look at today's verdicts, like if you follow up what's happening,
Yeah.
like people who have been injured, they're
Yeah.
getting like $50 million, $100 million. So it's called verdict inflation. So what has happened is the verdicts, the judgments have been getting larger and larger. So if you severely injure someone, 10 million is nothing.
Yeah.
Okay? If you were at fault, you were on your phone, you didn't see it, that's it. You're going to have to pay. Okay? And they get a judgment against you. You have a house. They're taking everything you have in your name as an individual.
Wow. Now, what's the first step, Karo? What's the first step? The
Well-
first step they should consider and start. Why they should call you, and how are you going to take someone step by step?
I guess the first step would be to call someone like me or an asset protection attorney and do a thorough review of what you have and what would be the best way to protect your assets. It's hard to say now you should go and do, A, B, and then C, because everybody's situation is different. Everybody has, different type of assets. But first step is to reach out to an attorney that specializes in asset protections and, take your most assets, take them out of your name, put them, most likely, I can say most people's situation is going to be that you're going to have to take your investment, all your investments, and put them into what's called a double-layered or two-tier LLCs. And that serves two purposes, interestingly enough. One is it's a separation from you and the investments, right? So there's a separation between you.
Yeah.
So if you accidentally, negligently injured someone, the law sees this entity that's holding your investments as a separate artificial entity. And the law says, well, wait a second, to the injured person, right, that's suing you.
Yeah.
This person sued you. You can go after them. But this entity didn't do anything to you.
I see.
The entity wasn't negligent. The entity didn't injure you. So, it's like you causing someone an injury. They come and sue me. I'm going to be like, what do I have to do with this? I'm just a simple entity holding title to properties. I didn't do anything wrong. That's the concept behind it.
Now, Karo, I know you have two offices, one in Calabasas and one in Venice. How people can get hold of you, and when they call you, do you take like consultation and then make an appointment? How the process works? Go ahead and explain that process.
Yes, people can reach out. You can just simply reach out through my Instagram or just simply, if you Google me, Karapetyan attorney, I think you'll be easily will find me.
Got it.
And I do offer 15 minutes of free consultation. And for your listeners, we'll double that.
Thank you for
30
that.
minutes, 30 minutes of free consultation.
Make sure, guys, you take cognac to.
Well, make sure you mention that you heard me on
on our podcast,
on Mice's podcast, and then you get the 30-minute free
that.
consultation. And then after the consultation, we'll determine whether you really need to come to my office and we'll take further steps, or we'll figure out what you need, what would be the best thing. And
Got it.
Look, I tell people what's the best thing for them to do, even if it is you don't have to do anything, then I'll just say you don't have to do anything. It's not always going to be do this, do that, unnecessary stuff.
Because sometimes people come and they're really prepared. You're like, good job, continue doing. You're on the right track. But most people are not, I guess.
Yeah,
a lot of
most people are not well protected when it comes to their assets. They're not well structured.
Got it. Well, Karo, I don't wanna pass my time. I don't wanna get an invoice from you.
No. You have unlimited time today.
Thank you.
Okay.
But I appreciate your time being here. And as a closing of the video, what would you encourage, especially to our community, Medhayedin inch forward katas when it comes to investing and how they should be careful?
Yeah. Well, Jahilnerin, Karamasam, start early.
Start early.
As early as you can. The earlier you start, obviously, the quicker you will build and the more you will build.
Got it.
Also, me Jahilnerin uzmem խորհուրդամ դպրոց գնացեք, educate արեք։ Հիմա investment էլի կարաս անես, բայց ես law school-ը սկսել եմ 36 տարեկանում։ Okay, ես երկու երեխա ունեի այդ ժամանակ, ընտանիք ունեի, ու ես 3.5 համարյա 4 տարի law school եմ գնացել, part-time էի սկսել։ So ինչ եմ ուզում ասեմ, նույնիսկ եթե աշխատանք ունես, ես այդ ժամանակ աշխատում էի full-time, real estate էի, notary էի, տո ինչ ասես անում էի,
Plus սովորում
էի։ So գնացեք, սովորեք, թե ջահել, թե ահել, տարիքով էլ մեկ մարդիկ մտածում են, 30 տարեկան եմ, 40 տարեկան եմ, ուշ չի։ Սկսեք, սովորեք եւ ինվեստ արեք։
Got it.
Okay.
Thank you, Karo.
Yes.
Thank you very much for coming to this podcast. I appreciate your time. I'm sure we'll get a lot of questions, and we'll do a future podcast again, if you don't mind.
Thank you, Maishan, and I appreciate your time. And thank you, everyone, for watching.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Another great episode. Subscribe to the channel, share, and contact Karo so he can help you with your real estate questions, real estate law. I'll see you guys next time. Have a good one. Take care. Bye-bye.